there, welcome into Huffman's Headlines for Wednesday. It is July 24th, 2019. Glad to see you here with me today as we take a look at what's making headlines around the world. We got our clock set for our 10-minute conversation. Of course, we'll start it with the Mueller hearings. Yes, it's the big day. It's the day, Hail Mary Day is what I call it for Democrats. So this was the day for Democrats to bring Robert Mueller to Capitol Hill for testimony. They wanted to hear his side of what exactly went on during the investigation. And I got two takeaways from watching this all day long. First of all these members of the United States House of Representatives kept referring to Robert Mueller's resume of service. They kept thanking him for his service. They kept thanking him for everything he's done for America. They were so patriotic and how he has been such a patriot. And to that I have to say that all of those folks really should be ashamed of themselves, because if they really appreciated Robert Mueller's service, they would have heeded his warning when he had his very brief press conference a little earlier this year, in which he said, "This is my report. This is all I have to say. I stand by this report." But all these folks wanted to bring him in to this circus. It's been an absolute mess. Everybody knows that, and both sides are pretty much have already dug in, and they've already made a decision on this. But Democrats felt the need to bring Robert Mueller here, and really, he deserves to be able to just retire peacefully. I think that this was his last stand, and he did it. He did it as patriotically as any human being could do under the kind of scrutiny that he was getting. And unfortunately, he's been brought back in for this testimony today and to be a part of this circus, and I think it was just wrong, and I don't think that we've learned much more than what was in the actual report. And many of the times when the representatives asked Mueller to read, he actually told them he'd be fine if they read it. So we didn't even really get a lot of testimony from Mueller, and when he was trying to explain himself, half the time he was being interrupted. He couldn't even get a full sentence out without being interrupted, because these have become spectacles. And everybody wants to get their time on the screen because they know that this is going to be on every major network. So it gives them some kind of credibility that they can ask tough questions and hold other people accountable while they're not being held accountable. And for that, both Republicans and Democrats are getting a Huffman thumbs down. I've got one for both sides of the aisle. The other takeaway that I got from watching this today is that everyone on every single side of this investigation seems to agree that Russia was the biggest part of the problem, right? So Russia did indeed meddle in our elections. They did indeed meddle in our political process. But Russia doesn't seem to ever be the focus of any of the investigations, any of the testimonies. It's always about how to take Trump down or how to protect Trump. That's what they're doing. One side is trying to take down the president, the other side trying to protect the president. Nobody seems to be trying to ensure that our elections continue to be free and fair and secure. Nobody is talking about making sure that our polling places are not being able to be hacked into. Our software that we're using is secure for all of our ballots. And that's where the focus needs to be. And unfortunately, I don't think the focus is there. And we've got elections coming up this year. I'm not even talking about 2020 yet. There are states with elections coming up in November. That includes my home state where I am right here. We've got a gubernatorial election coming up right here in Kentucky. And, you know, I feel like after today, if we can just all, as a group, decide to focus on the elections and our polling locations and our polling software to make sure that Russia can't ever do this again, or no other entity, no other outside entity can ever deal in our democracy. That is our democracy. That's the thing that we should hold dear, and I don't think that folks are really focused on it. And so that, again, Republicans, Democrats, and all the folks that should be protecting us and serving us, you get a thumbs down when it comes to elections. The other story that is really odd to me, you might have heard that the school district refused, or the school district sent letters home to parents threatening to take their kids away and put them in foster care if they didn't pay their school lunch debt. I've never heard this before in my life. And this is the Wyoming Valley School District, to be specific, in Pennsylvania. So last week they sent these letters home. They were threatening parents, you got to pay your school lunch debt or we're going to take your kids away and put them in foster care. I don't think that any school district has that authority. Maybe they do in Pennsylvania. But those letters were disgusting. You don't threaten somebody for a few dollars of lunch debt. No child should go hungry, especially when they're in school. And if we can't figure out a way to make sure that that happens without threatening parents, then we are falling very, very distant from who we should be. So, in response, though, this week, Todd Carmichael, who is the CEO of the Philadelphia-based company La Colombe Coffee, he came out and said that he was going to offer the school district $22,000 to cover the debt and wipe the debt clean for all the kids, right? Great. That's a great part of the story, and that was the exciting part of it. Mr. Carmichael is a patriot. I give him a thumbs up before I even get any further in this conversation, because that is corporate responsibility. That's what we expect our corporations to be doing to make sure that our communities are taken care of. But according to Carmichael's spokesperson, Aaron Platt, they called the school board president, that's Joseph Mazur, and Mazur rejected the money. Yes, according to Platt, Mazur has told them that the parents who owe the money can afford to pay it, and it should not be covered by Carmichael. First off, thumbs down for the school board president, because he doesn't know what's going on in the lives of these kids and the households that these parents are trying to manage. You don't know what's going on. It might be that they made a mistake here and there. They might be actually having some financial struggles. And when a corporation comes out and a CEO says, we want to wipe that debt clean, you accept the money. You accept the money, you wipe the debt clean for those families so that they can move on. But according to Platt, the spokesperson, this was the way the conversation went. Quote, I said, irrespective of the ability to pay, we want to cover it. And then Platt said, the school board president said no, and then just hung up the phone. That's not how this is played. They're using these kids for some reason to prove a point, and that's not fair to the kids. It's not fair to the families either. So again, thumbs up for Todd Carmichael, and a thumbs down to the Wyoming Valley Wyoming Valley West School District, and Joseph Mazur, who is the school board president, because that was not fair at all. I've got 2 minutes to talk about one of the stories that is kind of hitting close to home for me. All right, so this was the title in this story. It comes from USA Today. Drivers, you're merging all wrong. Yes, it's a merging traffic story. Being polite is causing traffic jams. This is according to experts, if you can believe it. That it's the polite people that are causing all the traffic backups. So this scenario is actually happening right out in front of the neighborhood that I live. So the scenario is a lane is closed up ahead, right? And you've got 2 lanes of vehicles, and at some point they've got to merge. That's exactly what's happening right on the main road outside here. So most of us who've been taught that you go ahead and get in line and you wait your turn and then traffic will flow, right? We are the ones causing the problems. That's according to experts from AAA. We always try to get in there, and we don't like the people cutting in line. But according to the experts from AAA, the drivers that are being polite are making traffic worse. The folks who are jumping ahead, they're called zippers, and the zipper method is in which drivers merge late, and it's based on the idea of a zipper's teeth. Just as zippers smoothly come together, a zipper merge can keep traffic flowing in both lanes by bringing some organization to the merging process. I would be fine with this if everybody would just merge nicely, but everywhere I go, and I've traveled the country, people just don't have to merge. So, my thought process, I'm one of the polite people. I get in line and I wait my turn, and I don't think that somebody who passes up 50 cars have been sitting in line for, 10 to 20 minutes trying to get through this should be able to cut in line. But maybe if we could all be on one accord and be in the line and equally merge, we could get, traffic to move a little bit more efficiently, but I just don't believe that it could happen. And right now what I'm doing actually is, as soon as I get close enough to the merging area, I scoot over a little bit and I block up traffic so they can't get around me. It works most of the time, actually, probably about 90% of the time. Usually somebody behind me does the same thing, so we've got them elected. So maybe I'm causing the problem because I'm being polite, but I'm also being mean at the end. But, thumbs up, though, to the polite drivers. I don't know. I think if we could all agree to merge correctly, then I'd be down for this, but I just don't think it's going to work. But thumbs up to all you polite drivers and all you people who follow the rules and regulations of the road. I think that's fair. That's the time. Did it right on time. Got all the stories discussed. And, of course, I will have all of the links to the stories that I discussed in the descriptions page. Don't forget to follow me at Huff's Headlines. It's HUFFS on Twitter and Instagram. Don't forget to like this video, share it, subscribe, and hit the little bell so you know when I upload. Have a great day and be safe out there. Hey, C.E. Huffman here. Can't thank you enough for checking out Huffman's Headlines. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Huff's Headlines.